All right, what is up, beautiful people? Welcome to a brand new student client interview, or however you want to call it. We've called this the podcast in the previous times, so the For Success podcast. We called this the student interviews in the previous times. Now we might call it student interview, client interview, whatever you want to call it. And with today a really familiar face, at least if you are Dutch and Belgium, from Belgium, and basically in our program, you would know who this person is sitting across from me. I'm calling from Dubai and he is calling from the Philippines. So we have two different locations today here. It started all the way back 2-3 years ago. We're going to have a great conversation today with Leroy. Leroy, thanks for making the time and coming on again for the third time. I think you broke a record, man. I think you're the most the most active person in these interviews. So congrats, I guess.
Thanks. It's like a trilogy,
It's a trilogy, man. Yeah, this is like we need to make it maybe like the fourth one, the John Wick one, man. We gotta make it like the John Wick series, and like after,
Fist Palladium.
Yeah, exactly. But guys, for today we're gonna be diving with Leroy into his journey on pretty much just starting out with his agency, what he is doing right now, how he is crushing it, how he's been able to also, now we were just talking before this call in terms of, pretty much what Leroy has been able to accomplish, going to the Philippines, a huge story. So I don't know how much we will actually be able to go through in the half hour that we got, or a little bit more. But I'm excited to have you here, Leroy. I would suggest, let's take it all the way from the start. Back in the day, like let's say, for example, not to go all the way to the start, like when you were born, like we did in the For Success podcast, which is like hour and a half. Let's start at the professional career of you, and how basically the entire journey began, in the online space, I would say. Like, what work did you do first? How did you get into the online space? Let's start with that, and then we'll see where it takes us.
Yeah, sure. Well, actually, my story is I think just like other people's stories. You graduate from college, and then you're going to do some research about yourself, what you want to do and how. Well, I always liked sales, and some other stuff as well. So I actually started as a recruiter, like the 360 recruitment stuff in technical personnel. So that's how I really learned how to do sales, like doing outreach, setting up appointments, and the sale would be like a placement for somebody else, right? So
Right.
Actually, I started my career in sales, but I never knew what kind of sales I liked, or is sales really what I liked, So I was really in the exploration phase of my life. I think everybody has that. Doesn't matter what kind of college you do, college you studied from or graduated from. As we see in the program now as well, we have a whole bunch of people joining the program. So eventually, after a few years of discovering, making mistakes, of course, as well, I noticed that maybe working for a boss was not really my thing, right? Because I was used to do my own thing. I listened. It's not like I never listened, but I always had better ideas, or I think, I can do it more efficient, or I really just don't like to do it. And then I saw this ad like 2018 or 2019 for online business models. And like everybody else, I started drop shipping. Didn't work as great. Actually, I never shared this with you actually, but I really started drop shipping for 2 weeks.
Really?
And after 2 weeks, I was like, nah, man, this is not for me. Nothing for me. And along the way, I come across another ad for somebody who's also Dutch about an SMMA, like social media marketing. I thought, you know what, I'm going to try that next to my job, actually. And at the end of 2019, 2020, I still didn't have clients. I just focused on my other job again. And then pandemic hit. What happened with the pandemic? When pandemic hit, everybody is in panic, and they lay you off. That also happened to me. So I started to get an online business again. Then I worked for at the same time, because it was very weird that period, because you don't know what to do. You have to get money as well. So during my exploration of what I wanted to do and what kind of online business that I want to do. I also was looking for a job, like a real job to get my finances going. I
Right.
also um, had my own studio, so that had to be paid for. So then I went into software sales for marketing tech, right?
Right.
So that was a little bit a step closer for me to get in the world of marketing, but also doing what I like to do, that was sales, right?
Sure.
So at the same time, I tried to start my business. Didn't have time for that because it was an American company, so it was like work weeks of 40, 50 minutes, sometimes 60 hours as well.
Mm.
And learned a lot from that. Like my boss, he was amazing. He was really amazing. He taught me everything what I needed to know about sales. And yeah, eventually I came across an ad from you, and that's how our journey started. We had a nice conversation. You told me what is possible. I was the only one in your program, so that was quite weird because you blew
Yeah.
up like this is the next thing in social media marketing agency or marketing agency in general.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I said, you know what, I'm just going to do it. So I expected a big community, like-minded, and eventually I was the only one with
Yeah.
you. Go, I said, all right, I'm going to be the first one, Doji. That's fine, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But after that, like within 3 months, we already had like 50 to 80 people I think
Yeah.
50 people or something in the community,
Yeah.
and everybody was helping each other, growing. And eventually, within 3 months, because it went so fast, in general, within 3 months, I resigned and started or continue scaling my own online business, and that was funnels, web design, SEO, that kind of stuff.
100%. Yeah, it's such an amazing story, man. Like, it's the usual one where we say like, you see an ad, and then you click on the ad, you go through it, and then it's in the
Yeah.
beginning. I didn't know you did drop shipping, man. You didn't tell me that like 2 weeks of drop shipping. That's
It's 14 days. Come on, man.
yeah, it's nothing.
I
Yeah,
was doing
yeah,
that, and I don't
yeah.
know. I don't know. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, yeah, makes a lot of sense, man. So, tell me a little bit about the process of you like starting out with the program. Like you start with this. You already, of course, invested in like you started with drop shipping. You did some another program like before that. You start with our program. You're like, okay, this is a new community. I'm gonna start my agency up. How did the process go for you? Like, because it's for everyone different when they start like with a program or when they start with their agency. Like, just signing their first few clients, getting to the first few clients. How did it go for you when you got like, you started with us? I know it was kind of rocky in the beginning. You were getting a lot of meetings. I think it was like IT companies, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
I think you had a lot of calls with them, and you said like I had like 30 calls with like IT companies, and then all of them didn't really have a need for a specific thing that I was offering them, and then we switched the niche. But before I'm already going too far, like talk to us about like the first few like months, like 3 to 6 months of going through the program and your agency as well, and how that kind of went, so people get an idea of that it's not always like a blissful road of just you choose a niche, you choose an offer, and you get clients.
Yeah, it never is actually. So how I started, well, first of all, the first kind of conversation that I have with you, right? Like it's you really pointed out this like, all right, you know what? I have everything for you. Everything is on a silver platter. You have the contracts, you have the PDFs, the cheat sheets, the videos, community, coaching, but it definitely has to come from you. And if somebody like me already invested in a few courses already to start an online business, from blogging, dropshipping, other SMA courses, while they didn't have that kind of conversation with me, I was a little bit hesitant about joining the program, to be very honest with you. But our conversation was so relaxed. You didn't push. It was the quality, what you showed me of the program, even though it was not completely done yet. Even then, I was like, all right, I just feel that I have to do this because it wasn't necessary that I really, really want to have a high profit online business, but more like I want to be an entrepreneur, right? And I think this guy can help me in general to be a better entrepreneur instead of scaling an SMMA business, because everything what I learned now or learned then, I'm still using it for other stuff, right?
Yeah.
That people can see in my other podcasts, like with the stroke bubbles and such and that kind of stuff. So that's how I started, a little bit with hesitation. But when I was in the program, the first weeks I had basically my one-on-one coaching with you because I was the only one. And you said, okay, did you follow the program? You chose your niche. you know what kind of service you want. Just get out there, you know, call them. So I was call them. So and for the people who want to know, I started the Google ad, not like a traditional SMA, but more like Google ads for IT companies. And the conversation that I had was quite good. The scripts were good. I had a foot in the door, you know, all the gatekeepers, I could go around them. So that was all fine. But what I noticed with IT companies, they were literally searching for like a full service agency, right? And every time I called the IT company, I had a great conversation, but they just needed more. And they didn't know enough about marketing to do so. So they literally saw a growth partner. And I
Yeah.
wasn't that, you know, my knowledge was not that, yeah, how do I say that?
Developed.
Sophisticated,
Yeah.
developed yet.
Yeah.
So that was a little bit, that was a hard time. So I came back to you, so, you know, dude, what do I need to do? You know, do I need to change niche? Do I need to change my service? And then you said, you know, maybe you have to change niche, right? That was a good idea in general. But then I also changed my service because I came across another course for funnel building, like funnel design, that kind of stuff, right? And I think, all right, maybe I can combine this skill with the program that I have from you, you know. And that
Right.
was like the best decision ever, because regarding hard skill, that program for me as a funnel designer or web designer was
Mm.
great to start off. But with the whole business aspect on the background and also with other services, your program was like a good fit. So eventually, I made a choice, built funnels for coaches, consultants, and I blew up. I like literally blew up. Like within the first month, I already had like two clients that paid me like 2,500 euros for one funnel. Crazy. It's really
Yeah.
crazy. And then I started also to build websites on Webflow. You know, Webflow, the nice
Yep.
platform that you can build websites on. They had a free course as well. Not necessarily how to be an entrepreneur, but more like how to use Webflow. I did that as well. And then I was like, yeah, asking for websites for starting from 500 euros. That's how I started until 5,000. Or when you remember my big close, like in December, like a month before I quit my job, it was like a 6,500 euro website. And it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to focus on this more. So that was my rough start, but it ended up quite nicely.
Yeah, and it shows like characteristics of an entrepreneur, because the characteristics of an entrepreneur is that you figure things out along the way, which
Yeah.
usually sometimes people think like, oh, an entrepreneur, I just start and this is gonna fall from the tree and just have all these low hanging fruits and it's gonna work. But when it comes down to like, it's not always gonna be like I choose a niche, I choose an offer, and I just go through with it and it's gonna work, right? You gotta think of it like, okay, how can I not be like a commoditized service and pretty much just go into something that people actually need in a niche that is actually also wanting to grow and wanting to do specific things that I offer. So I think this shows for the people watching a lot of dynamic, how to be like flexible and diverse in terms of what you do. Not be like, of course you need to choose a niche and offer, but you don't need to be married to it. Pretty much is what I'm, from what we're understanding from this conversation. So okay, that makes sense. So you started signing those clients, and talk us through like the process of like those clients of like ranging from like 500 to like 5k 6k. Like what was kind of your experience delivering the service to those clients, especially like the first few ones, and getting experience in that and becoming better, maybe through the help of the program or through the things that you learned in Webflow or in the funnel program, everything like that. Like how did that journey develop and then go to it being to the point where it is now, where you're pretty much just in the Philippines working remote, and pretty much just working whenever it is that you want to work. So walk us through like the path from
Yeah.
that point to getting more clients.
Yeah, so in the beginning, I really struggled a little bit because you also have to set up systems, and in the beginning, you can do that, and you also have to keep your head down because 500 euros for $500, let's say dollars for a website, it can be, it's nice, but $500 is not that much in the amount of work that you
Yeah.
put in. But that's like a mindset game that you play with yourself, right? So basically what you need to do is, all right, when I make these kind of websites or funnels, I can use them for my portfolio and then showcase them to other clients that they're going to approach. Other than that, I also got referrals from the clients that I already had. So there was like a two streams of leads that came to me,
Right.
and then I could also ask more for that for the website. But what I noticed that when I was asking more, they were expecting more as well. So what do you need? You need a good system behind it. Like, okay, you need to have an onboarding call. You need to have a kickoff call. Do they want to have a templated based design, so it's already be templated for you, that you can buy it on the internet or download it? Or
Right.
do you want to design it yourself? Okay, I want to design it myself maybe, but I'm not a graphic designer, right?
Exactly.
So it's continuously evolving yourself until you think, all right, this is what I want to do, this is what I'm good at, and all the other things I want to outsource it. And
Right.
at the moment I was outsourcing it, I was already like earning between 25 or 35, 55 K a month, that part. Then I said, oh, you know what? A piece of the pie I will give to somebody else. He's good in graphic design. The other one is good in developing, or both, right? And I can just focus on my clients and getting more clients and building my brand and building systems behind it.
Right.
And that's how I slowly evolved on until the business that I have right now, and that I can do everywhere where I want at the moment. So
Right.
it was a lot of learning, a lot of patience, but
Right.
keep your head down for 2 months, and see what happens. Right? So
100%. It's also the thing that we say now that, because for the people watching this, Leroy is also a partner now with For Success. So that's why I always say, one of our most successful students, they usually go through and start working with us together. And Leroy has been doing that now for the past, I think it was almost like a year that, we're working together, having a good connection on that, almost becoming like friends with each other.
1.5 year.
1.5 year, yeah.
1.5
So
year.
it's, yeah, time flies. So with that being said, like, what would you say is like one of the most like important things, or like that a program should give? Because of course, like what we're doing with the HC Blueprint and now the Business Blueprint, I always say like it's the coaching aspect of it, like really like honing in on people that if you're stuck with these things. Because I remember you were talking with Kaho as well about these things, and I think he suggested also a couple of things like, hey Leroy, maybe you could do this, or maybe you can think of that. Talk to us about like the kind of the things that you've seen on the coaching side, which maybe you haven't seen in like other like programs regarding that really stood out to you from the Business Blueprint. Because I know some people might be watching this, maybe thinking like, oh, I know the Business Blueprint, I've seen it. It might probably be like something similar to what is there, when it's really not. What kind of were the things that stood out for you in terms of your progression, to getting these big clients?
Yeah, so how I tell people how the program looks like as for now, and that's always been the case, like when I started, is that it exists in 3 pillars, right? Like I told you once before, like you have the community, right? That's with people like-minded, who wants to build a business, who help each other. I even get clients from the community, so I don't even have to, if I really don't have, I don't need the outreach system, actually. So I do still have it, just to be sure. I don't want to be dependent on referrals,
Of course.
but I actually don't need it because I get a lot of referrals from the community itself. Hey Leroy, can you make a website? Can you make a landing page? Can you make this? And so that's great. So that's pillar 1. The pillar 2 is the educational part. And when I tell people this, yeah, it's just not a course. It's this. Okay, yeah, it's a course, but it's a course with an ID. So you get a silver platter with all the documents, all the PDFs. You have like 150 modules, 100
Yep.
modules
Yep.
right now, especially in this program now, the new one.
Yep.
So you have so much content, and in order, like from the beginning, from the start of your business until automating your 50K a month agency or 100K a month agency, right? So it's so broad, you don't really need another program or course anymore if you want to start your own marketing agency or sales agency or web design agency, or you
Yep.
can start a lot of agencies actually with this program. And that's pillar 2. That's the educational part. And the third one is the coaching. And the coaching is the most important thing. What I noticed as well as a coach myself now in the program, you really get help. You really get valuable tips by people who are actually walking the talk, right? Because next to this, you as well and Kao as well, we have our own agencies to take care of as well, right?
Yep.
So we continually testing and doing it and teaching that to people who are new in the agency space or even experienced. And those three pillars, that's for me, that was the most important thing. Even now, as a coach, when I speak to people, there's one guy in particular, he's 19 or 20 years old, he's killing it, and we both know who it is. And he gives me advice as well now, right? He's my coach sometimes. So that's amazing because he's so young, and I try to coach him as well and such. But on the other hand, he's killing it. He has 19 clients, but he also gives me some motivation and also how I can do my outreach, for example.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's pretty much just, you know, the beauty of when I see like these things, and I heard like you're also like signing clients and other people are signing clients. Pretty much that's like so fun to hear, like pretty much like, you know, I see that people are actually signing clients just by connecting with each other and just being in the group like that.
Yeah.
You know, I just that's like, you know, it gives me chills because I know how hard we work to involve all the people in there and assist them and you know, just make it pretty much just tick and work. So as you already said, you're now a coach in the program, you're partnering with us. Now with that being said, you know, if you look at pretty much just the next steps for yourself, you now are in the Philippines, you have these clients, like what are kind of, you know, your goals, because your angle was more like the website and funnel agency, right? What is your goal now because we talked about the growth partner, we talked about all of these things regarding the agency. What would you say are your main goals, you know, for like the growth of like what you're doing right now?
Yeah, so it's a good question. I was literally, we had this conversation like a few weeks back, I think. But I also had this conversation with my, fiance now. What I like to do is setting up businesses, like doing multiple things. I'm all over the place because I like it. I like a lot of things, right? But there's also, I need to focus. So what I really want to do now is get my agency that I have right now to a certain point. Revenue-wise, but also on autopilot, that thing is running, right? There's one income source. I'm almost there, right? I'm almost there that my agency is completely automated. I can only, in the morning, I check my Asana or whatnot, you know, I can see what the tasks are. I have my meetings with my team. I have my meetings with my clients all in one day or 2 days maybe. And then I can focus on other things. So next is I'm also building a sales agency at the moment for closers or for a little bit more lead generation in the form of sales. So not like Facebook ads or whatnot, but more like cold emailing, using Apollo, being more a little bit of a growth partner for B2B companies. So I'm building that slowly out at the moment, but my main focus is my own agency. For success, of course, with the coaching and all the other activities. And next to that, I'm just building some other agency with the same principles actually as in the program, you know. And I'm doing that together with my fiance.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's so amazing. So, but like that's like the ground pillars that you have, like just expanding on that. That's pretty much, you know, what you have done, and that's an amazing story to have. And what about the stroopwafel? I forgot the word because you're like that. That's also a thing. Like also like it can have its pros as an entrepreneur to be like a lot of creative and have a lot of different projects as well. But we all know like focus is one thing, as you know, you and I have talked about like so many times with like different clients, and like, you know, keeping the focus and being on it with like specific things. Maybe just a you know, more general question, but like how do you stay focused? Because you just mentioned like, you know, multiple things, and then also you have the, like I said, also like the stroopwafel. I don't know how to call stroopwafel in English. I forgot the word. Like
Stroopwafel.
Stroopwafel. Yeah, I don't know. You guys can look it up. But how do you stay focused? That's kind of, you know, for people, especially when they're starting out or when they already maybe have a lot of clients, they really want to scale up. Like how would you say like you stay focused, and how could they stay focused on just, you know, focusing on what they want to reach and actually achieve that, instead of just being distracted by maybe another like shiny object or like doing something which might not move them forward?
When I realized that, first of all, I have a form of ADHD, right? So I'm distracted quite easily. I see a lot of shiny objects, you know, but I learned along the way that an accountability partner is very important. For me, that's you. Yeah, you're my accountability partner as well, and somebody else. But also my fiance is my accountability partner. So when she sees me sidewise to something else that I like, she always keep me on the ground. Yeah, but did you finish this? Did you finish that? Did you accomplish your goal? So accountability for someone that helps really. It doesn't matter who it is,
Right.
but somebody that keeps you leveled. The other thing is that I actually learned how to focus. So I made the mistakes. I had some big ones, so learned from it, and eventually I built a system around it. Right, like I read books just to focus. Like it can be fiction, it can be personal development. I like to balance that, right? Because only personal development that's a little bit tiring, and I don't have the
Yeah.
patience for that. But fiction, especially for me, ADHD, we can imagine things. And
Right.
that for me that's a beautiful thing, because then I can focus because everything is out of my system, and I'm using a project management tool that helps me a lot, like tasks. I set my phone off, like I have the app structured. That's amazing actually. Maybe we have to do that in the program actually. Yeah.
For sure. It's a good
Next
one.
time. Next time.
Structured. Yeah. 100%.
Structure. Yeah. So it really helps me. So accountability partner. Read books, not because how to be an entrepreneur within 9 days and earn $1 million. No, read books to focus, to get focus, to build up the focus for your job. And yeah, treat yourself sometimes,
Yeah.
right? Like treat yourself on nice things. Know what you have. Like I always, every day, I I thank whoever it is, right? Like that I'm here in the Philippines, right? Like
Exactly.
with people that saw my previous podcast with you or my previous story. But I met my fiance now in 2019. Pandemic hit, we didn't see each other, and now I'm here in the Philippines with her. We're going to get married, and all these beautiful things are
Yeah.
happening because I can work remotely. So I'm very, very, very thankful for that, and that gives you a lot of energy, because procrastination is it's right on the corner. It's
It is.
with the whole wormhole of YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Open Facebook and it's 2 hours ahead. You are 2 hours scrolling. It's
Yeah.
horrible. But yeah, it definitely helped me in general. Just gratitude.
Right. Got it. Amazing. That's, inspirational. If, like I said, people want to watch. I said it was in Dutch. I think it was in Dutch that we did the previous podcast. I think. I don't know if
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
English. So if you're not Dutch, well, maybe we'll do another one, maybe live, either in the Philippines or in Dubai. I want to...
Subtitles. There's
subtitles,
English
yeah.
subtitles.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what we could fix. So I want to finalize this student interview, client interview, whatever you want to call it, with like the last conclusion on pretty much just the like the program itself, like regarding like people are watching it, they're getting bombarded with like all of these types of things online and everything like that. Why would you advise someone, or why would you give someone a tip to maybe just take a look at what we do with the business blueprint, and that it could benefit them if they have like an agency, coaching, or consulting business, or want to start it, scale it, and get assistance with that? Like, why should someone, in your opinion, objectively speaking, right? Because like I said, like we said, you're a partner and a coach, look at perhaps, partnering with us as well, and maybe jumping on, what we're doing.
Well, the only thing I can say, if you find it important that people are truly cares about your progress, because we do, we keep challenging them, but the people, when we are having a group session or we don't hear a lot of them, that are in the group, we care, right? If you really need somebody who cares about your progress, about your business, and cares about coaching that happens 7 times a week, and not 1 time or 2 times, no, 7 times a week we have coaching, to keep you accountable, to help you, to support you, then this is the program for you. Yes, we are. We are a little bit strict. I can say that, right? We are a little bit
Yeah.
strict. We don't.
Mm-hmm.
We're quite exclusive. Not everyone we allow to join this program, but we do that for a reason, right? Like we want to help people, but we also want to see results from our help, because looks what's happening. You are in Dubai. I'm in the Philippines. If you look at my Instagram, you don't see fancy cars. You don't see this. No, we are. I can say we are the real deal at the moment. We actually displaying how life is as an entrepreneur in the online space at the moment.
Yeah.
So if that's important for you and you don't want to get all the clutter outside, and the next guru will tell you this and then that, and within 90 days you have like a 10K a month business, it can happen, you know, it can, but we are here for the long term. We are your coaches. We try to help you. And yeah, it's just amazing. It's realistic, right?
Yeah.
Like very, really realistic.
100%, 100%. So yeah, I think that sums it up perfectly regarding like what I also stand behind, and why we put so much effort into everything that we're doing, and that's kind of the result which we're trying to achieve. You know, give people freedom, and help them achieve that, of course, by themselves at the end of the day. And Leroy, you've been one that has achieved that, so I can firmly say I'm, you know, really proud of you, and only for the things that are going to come in the next you know, years, you know, hopefully that we're going to be working together and having this maybe for like a fourth session, who knows. I think definitely we will do a live one, as I said. I think it's just an ongoing one, like Leroy's breaking records all over the place. So we're gonna have another one. Yeah,
you can come to the Philippines then, okay? Then we do a
exactly.
live podcast.
Yeah, exactly. We'll figure something out. Leroy, I want to thank you so much for taking the time once again. It's been a shorter one than the For Success podcast, but hey guys, if you want to watch it back, go back to the channel. It is in Dutch. We might find a way to do English subtitles so you can watch it back as well if you aren't Dutch. But I think this was a great display of, you know, what you can achieve, what you can do. Leroy, thank you so much for taking the time, coming on the podcast interview again. And you guys, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, stay tuned for more student interviews to come, client interviews on this channel. Subscribe if you haven't yet. For now, Leroy, thanks once again. Thank you for watching, and I wish you an amazing day. See you in the next one. Bye.
Thanks, man.